English shorthand dictation number 244. Dictation speed 160 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable Chairman Sir, first of all, I would like to thank you for allowing us to have this discussion in the House. Last week also, we took up some issues of national importance and had a good debate and discussion. Today also, we have taken this short duration discussion on the issue of farmers. As we heard this morning, there is also a calling attention motion on the issue of flood situation in many states. I was trying to find out where I should begin from and what benchmark I should make here. So, I thought the best benchmark here to make and to quote is the ruling party's manifesto of 2014. Let us not think what happened before that and what happened 10 years ago. The ruling party's manifesto says that the government would strengthen and expand the rural credit facilities. Today, I am trying to tell you where the government has reached in the last 3 years. I have also read my party's manifesto of 2011 and I have seen where we have reached in 6 years in Bengal. Sir, some speaker from the government side said that the opposition is always opposing and we do not appreciate the good work done by the government. We appreciate the government because for the last 5 years the award given by the central government for food grain production and coarse grain production has come to my state. In my state, the annual income of a farmer has moved up to a little over rupees 2 lakhs. You look at the West Bengal model which nobody has tried. It is working very well in West Bengal. The Minister of Agriculture is here. We have discussed it informally with him. Now, let us come to the issue of the great announcement of demonetization. On the cashless economy, we have to see the hard facts. What did the farmers do? They went back to the old system. As there was no cash available, they went back to the barter system and the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh had to appeal to traders to pay at least a half in cash. Sir, if you compare the sale of last year to that of this year, prices of all the commodities have shown a considerable drop. Sir, there is a frequent talk happening on the minimum support price. We have done it in a different way in West Bengal. We are actually paying for the farmers' part of the premium. I do not want to repeat the same thing which earlier speakers have mentioned on the insurance claims of farmers. This is not a problem in our state because the state government is covering for the farmer, but in the rest of the country, everyone talked about the minimum support price. Let me make a specific recommendation to the minister on minimum support price. Today, I heard a lot of rhetoric from the treasury benches that they will do this, they will do that. I want to tell you what was done for farmers and I will be failing in my duty if I do not recall our fight for farmers' rights when a big corporate company like Tata in association with all the media houses wanted to snatch away 1,000 acres of land from the farmers. Sir, 600 acres of land was owned by farmers who were willing to give their land without being forced by this company, but our party said that the 400 acres of land which belonged to the unwilling farmers must not be snatched away. So, we all know what happened in 2006 and we all must remember what happened after that. Everyone said that we were making political points. The Supreme Court of India in its historic judgment said that 400 acres of land which was taken from the farmers had to be given back to them and now farming is happening on the same land there. This is not rhetoric, but I thought this is an appropriate moment to make some constructive suggestions to the government. You should see how one or two states are using models which are different. You should acknowledge the history and the contribution made by people who have been part of this movement. They are neither launching television channels nor changing names. We talk about bullet trains, smart cities, Kisan channels, but the life of the farmer is still the same. Sir, farmer suicides are a shameful feature on India's social scene. The central government itself submitted before the Supreme Court that there were 12,000 farmer suicides per year. There are statistics to show that more than 3 lakh farmers had committed suicides during the last 21 years. Demonetization also contributed to farm crisis. Though some states have decided to waive off farm loans, the central government has not supported any of the states. There is an argument that there will be a big crisis in financial sector if you waive off loans. According to the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament, the non-performing assets of the country are rupees 6 lakh crore. Almost 70% of these assets are in corporate sector, whereas only 1% is in the agrarian sector. Big corporates are given crores and crores of rupees as loans by public sector banks. Big names in Indian corporates are given loans to the tune of rupees 2 lakh crore by public sector banks. But the amount of loan waivers for farmers will be much less than this massive loot. These loans to corporates had been at minimal interest. How many crores of rupees did we lose in scams? I do not want to give the numbers here as there is no time. You will get loans on a low interest to buy a luxury car. The bank staff will come to your house to complete the formalities. If a farmer wants to buy a tractor, he has to give 10 to 12% interest on loan. For that, he will have to spend weeks and months with the bank people. A poor woman who wants to buy a goat will have to bear huge interest burden in microfinance. I would say that the central government is ignoring the agriculture sector. During the 12th five-year plan, the allocation for agriculture sector was rupees 1.8 lakh crore. The central government is destroying the cooperative sector, which has been helpful to poor farmers to an extent. Demonetization was extremely harmful to the cooperative sector. Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise to support this bill. This legislation is a feather in the cap of the UPA government. The passage of this bill has to be inscribed in golden letters in the history of our democracy. The non-resident Indians have their roots in India. Thousands of non-resident Indians are living in foreign countries. Not only the Indian political leaders, but also the successive governments of the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia and France have time and again expressed and acknowledged the great contributions made by our non-resident Indians. We have to bow our heads before the glorious memories of the great martyrs of our freedom struggle. This is a landmark legislation. It bears the color of the patriotic blood which was responsible for the Indian Council Act. By this historic legislation, we are expanding the horizon of the meaning of democracy. We have seen elsewhere in the world and in our neighborhood countries, governments are shattering and crumbling down, and the military rulers are suppressing people. But the Indian democracy has stood the test of time. We are proud of being the largest and the greatest democracy of the world. With the enactment of the present legislation, our democracy attains more greatness. There are as many as 25 lakh non-resident Indians. There has been a long pending demand from our non-resident Indians. I hope that nobody would have any objection to the purpose of this bill. This bill came before Parliament in the year 2006 and the Standing Committee gave its report on it. The bill seeks to provide for granting voting right to every citizen who has not acquired the citizenship of any other country and who has been absent from his place of ordinary residence in India. The bill empowers the central government to specify, in consultation with the Election Commission of India, the time and manner in which the name of a person who is not an ordinary resident be listed in the electoral rolls. The bill provides that the authority concerned shall make corrections of entries in the electoral rolls and inclusion of names in the electoral rolls after proper verification. The proposed amendment seeks to create a very valuable political right in favor of the Indian citizens working and living abroad. It will benefit all those people who are working abroad and students who have gone abroad to study. Countries like the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, and Australia allow their overseas citizens to vote subject to certain conditions.